Hello there, and we're joined once again by my good friend David Gardiner, long-term um, knowledge management expert and AI strategy. And today, Dave's going to get into the putting the A's into AI, and we're starting with his first A. Dave, where are we going with it?
Yeah, no, thanks very much, Nick, and glad to be back to talk about my five primary A's in the AI. As we said before, A in artificial in AI to me is the wrong term. The term that we really need are one of these five. You need to start thinking about either augmented intelligence, assistant intelligence, accountable, automated, or even advanced intelligence, because these are the areas where people get that real insight that helps them in their everyday jobs. I think it's also important just to point out very briefly that you're also going to see these A's appear when you first implement AI. The absurd intelligence, your users will talk about apathetic intelligence, or even, is that an apology for intelligence? Generally happens when people haven't been trained properly, haven't really been given the insights on how to really interact with an AI system. But let's just move on. What I'm going to talk about today very much is augmented intelligence. So where do we go with this? What do we mean by augmented intelligence? Well, augmented intelligence refers to AI systems designed to support and amplify human capabilities rather than to automate them entirely. AI actually fits this model by embedding itself into familiar business workflows that enable the workplace professional to make faster, smarter, and more informed decisions. So AI generally exemplifies augmented intelligence by enhancing, not replacing, human decision-making activities across the various different business functions. And if I can give you some examples of that, of where AI delivers value in business context, the first thing is contextual awareness. AI will actually understand a user's role. It'll understand their tasks, the data context in which they work within to deliver relevant suggestions where it can help them reduce time-consuming activities from hours or days down to minutes, and delivering good quality. Let me give you a good example. A couple of days ago, I was asked to produce a review of the pharma and healthcare industry. My prompt to the AI system was, I was looking for research. Can you give me the top 20 pharma companies by employee count, then by turnover, advising me on key focus and strategies? And I got all that information. At the end of the information, what it gave me was another prompt. It said, hey, Dave, would you like information broken down into regional distribution, therapeutic focus, and R&D investment trends, ? And I thought, what a wonderful question that I hadn't even thought of. AI was now even thinking about what I was trying to do and trying to help me even further. So that's one example. Another example is real-time insight generation. So AI can surface relevant intelligence summaries from lots of documents and data. It can provide action items instantly from large data sets and documents and activities which have happened across the organization. And extensive or complex document stores can be summarized very concisely and delivered against a set of parameters that you provide. And a third way of using it is what we call human-in-the-loop design. So AI always keeps the user in control by providing suggestions that can be accepted, edited, or even ignored.
So where in the organization then could you make effective use of augmented intelligence, Dave?
Yeah, there's plenty of examples where we can actually implement and apply it very effectively. The first, for instance, would be sales or CRM, customer relationship management. AI can help generate proposals. It can very quickly put together pitch decks based on a predefined structure. It can deliver reports from prompts that you put together, or even from templates of documents that you've predefined that you want all your reports to look like, ensuring that accuracy and consistency is applied across everyone using it. Marketing is another great example where it can generate campaign content from simple pointers. It can analyze performance data from your campaign, and it can really augment marketing decisions by creating visuals from known or past trends within the marketing team. Another one might be customer service, where you can actually very quickly summarize support cases very quickly. You can look at drafting knowledge articles from the vast amount of information across the organization, or even recommend solutions within the customer service team that are going to help your customers. Another great one which pops up all the time is HR and the onboarding activity of an HR team. Why not use AI to automate onboarding checklists, answer frequently asked questions, learning as it goes what better responses it can provide to different questions, not fixed PDFs, or even draft training materials for individuals.
And obviously we've we're overwhelmed with the word AI, but can you provide any kind of real life examples of where AI has provided true value to organizations you've worked beside?
Well, actually, the last company I worked were Avanade, part of a global 750,000 employee company called Accenture. And they decided to deploy and train 250,000 employees on a product called Copilot, which is part of the Microsoft M365 suite now. And they reported back after, I think it was 6 months, that productivity gains across all 250,000 employees gave about 3 hours per day for every individual back to them to do other work. So that's one great example. A second example would be a large global bank where I was running a business case assessment activity. We also, again, use Copilot. We put it into what we call the litigation management team. So they looked after any challenges to the organization, any court cases that were brought against them. And what they did was they used the AI technology to dramatically induce the creation of court hearing notes. So summarizing a lot of the defendant interviews very, very quickly, finding legal precedent in large volumes of case material from past, present, which basically freed up the lawyers to focus on those high-value tasks to help them win those court cases. And probably finally, a very high-profile government department, which I also ran a business case assessment, doing an as is to be before AI, after AI, and we implemented AI into that systems team to extract insights from extensive knowledge bases. This was one of their biggest activities, 20, 30 people having to react quickly to demand and provide solutions and responses very, very quickly. So AI was able to take that from hours or even days down to minutes, providing guidance and how they could faster solve the problems which were happening in real time and immediate for them. It created a lot of mental stress and anxiety amongst the team. So AI was helping reduce that by taking all this administrative activity away from that particular team and allowing them to do that focus on the problem at hand. It also then prepared massive amounts of reports, critical updates that had to be produced possibly every hour and submitted to different types of individuals. So they were able to do that with AI, remove that from their chores and focus again on the problem at hand.
Fascinating stuff, Dave. And obviously it's a big topic. Have you anything you'd like to say in closing before we move on to the next one?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's my insight in replacing artificial with augmented. So augmented intelligence is very important. You have to think about where you want to apply AI in your organization. So for our audience today, my advice is to understand that it's important to think about where your AI journey delivers the best outcomes, as general deployment of AI without good reason or outcome targets will end at best in mediocre results.
Good stuff, Dave. Okay, well, that's augmented, and I think next up is assisted. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks very much, Dave.
Thanks very much, Nick.